What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this, my second channel, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with all the Flat Earth Debate pre-show and after-show goodness. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal and crypto link in the info box below this video. Now, we're joined by a whole gaggle of people, as it is the interim stages between the two live shows over on Nathan Oakley 1980. So I'm going to pass you over to the panel, and you can enjoy their dulcet tones as I set up for that second show.
Excellent presentation, Renty.
Well, I just want some answers about the observation, that's all. And if he wants to come in and talk about it, that's great. Because, you know, I want to see regular proof. I want to see him go and do this observation time and time again, not just one parroted observation that he's just beaten to death. It's a bit like Miles Davis on that.
I see. So, you know, I'm not going to say you have to do this so many times before I can accept it. You know, everybody does this. Most people do this as their hobby, so I'm not going to say you have to do this. Otherwise, you know.
But as a glober, do you actually understand what Ranty's presenting when he's presenting? Sorry, I know it's loud over here, sorry.
I think so. I'm not sure who posted the footage, but the poster of the footage claims, I haven't heard the claim, but I assume he claims the buildings are obscured because of curvature, and Renty claims the buildings are obscured because one of the photos was taken at a high elevation, which will reveal more of the buildings, of course, because the higher your angle of view, the higher the observation height, the more you will see when you look down.
Well, assuming that there is an earth curve obscuring the view, and that is what causes the obstruction. In other words, based on the assumption of a radius that is causing an obstruction, as you raise in elevation, you see more on the globe model. Reification fallacy.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal link and a crypto link in the info box below this video. Most importantly though, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by The Plain Truth, Ranty Flat Earth, P. Mars, Jose, Chris, Chocolate Sayin, Arwin and Apollo. Good to have you all.
Hello,
Good morning.
hello.
Trav. Long live Tortuga Earth. Tortuga Irv thing?
Yeah, right.
So
Enough
I'm
anymore?
interested in what Apollo thinks about the Brighton Seafront video that we talked about in the first episode, and I posted another link a minute ago, or a couple minutes ago, because I think that's something that he would be interested in. He seems like a reasonable baller, from what I can tell, and he's pretty much on the fence. I think he pretends he isn't, but I think he is. So when he sees the video of a PhD doing this test over 13.5 miles, and he comes to the conclusion himself that there's only one model that, which I know we don't like that word, but I'm just using what he used. There's only one, well, for lack of a better word, model that works, and that's the flat Earth model. That, what do you think of that, and how does that make you feel?
I have only just joined the show. I haven't seen the previous episodes, nor have I really been following Nathan's videos like some time ago. But I did skip through the video you just posted. It's quite long, almost 2 hours, so I can't watch it in its entirety right now. So is it possible you can give me a preview? I mean, is it possible you can quickly tell me what it is about on the observations that are made in
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I mean, and Nathan, if you want, I can share my screen and I can sort of, because I've seen it a couple times, skip through
Yeah,
it.
go ahead.
In just a couple minutes, really. Let me share.
Yep, you're on.
Okay, thanks. So basically, yeah, it's an hour and 40 minutes, and I don't know who this guy is or what, but, he took the observations on October 22nd and Wednesday, October 23rd of this year. He only released this video 2 days ago, so it is brand new for a lot of people. I just came across it because I have like 20, I'm subscribed to like 20 different flat Earth channels. But either way, so that's who he is. He talks here at the beginning, sort of why he's doing it, what are his beliefs, etc. Because, and in here he says he's got a PhD in spectrophotometry. So it piqued his interest. And when you Google that, it obviously has to do with light and the chemical process of light and all that. So he already had an understanding of light, how it works, refraction, and all that stuff. So just to skip through, he talks about, here are his materials he used, his equipment. So he has a Nikon P510. Using a spirit level. He's using this piece of pipe here for what he's calling a viewing pipe, which is really cool. And I'll see if I can find a clip of that. But he talks about all the different models, which globe Earth model are we using, the one they call WGS 1984, which we all have heard about, which is the standard round Earth globular model, as I like to call it. He goes into the ellipsoid, how people say, well, it's an ellipsoid. And he says, for sake of argument, he says, due to pictures and everything, there's no way to tell what the exact shape is. So he's going with that standard WGS 84 model. Let's see. More info. Oh, here's the viewing pipe, which is really cool. And I asked Ranty if he had seen this or used one. But basically, so he says spirit levels are on the pipe. On the pipe are used to level it. Center of the non-camera end of the pipe will be below 10 centimeters above the current tide. So he's not even 10 centimeters above the water. And then basically it's just a long, like couple, I think 3 or 4 meter pipe that he then sticks the camera into. Oh, here's the graphic. And what it does is, from what I remember him saying, is it limits the amount of light, right, that's coming in from the sides. And then, so you're basically getting a full straight on shot to help with various light pollution and things. So here's one of the, I'll just play it. Here's some of the video that he takes. And right here, you see this green light. Well, that's a traffic light. And the thing is, though, this isn't like an American traffic light that are, 15, 20 feet high. This is, I guess, over, I don't know where Brighton is, or Worthing. It sounds like somewhere in England. But either way, he shows this light and the measurements of it, and it's about, I think it's 8 meters, if I'm not mistaken, or less. I can't remember the exact measurements, but it's a small light. It's basically, it's something like 8 meters or 8 feet. I can't remember the measurement, but it's not one of those big giant American lights that we have. And then in another video, he shows at night, you can actually see car lights, car headlights at this same level. So more of that, he shows, you know, he's taking temperatures here. So he's going into depth and temperature of the water. He does air temperatures above the water. Here is, I don't know what this is checking, maybe more temperature, maybe the air temperature. Showing a setup, showing all the mathematics and heights. Oh, here's the light. Here you go. So you see, it's not, it's look how small that is. That's the thing. You see the light. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, that light, you can only see, you know, the very top portion of it. Well, that's because it's 8 feet tall or whatever. It's not very big. And he does the measurements of the light here. So, oh, I'm sorry. I said 8 meters. It's 2.5 meters to the green. And then this is the next day and a different time and different. Here you go. There you go. You see all the lights. And this is basically ground level. Here's a green light, so 2.5 meters of what you can see. And here's a red. It's the same height. And actually, you can see that. You can see a lot further below the light. And here is... I'm trying to get the viewing pipe. So here's the viewing pipe, which is really cool. So all the video that you see, he's looking through this pipe, but he's obviously zoomed in to where you can't see the sides of it. And more measurements. He's and then to confirm the measurements, he's going to this metoffice.gov. Yeah, UK. So he's in UK to confirm all the measurements, and then does calculations. Talks about all of the absolute every single possible distortion, light distortion, refraction, diffraction, all that stuff. And he then uses this to compare the models, and he's got let me just find that real fast and we'll probably be done. Okay, here we go. Model 1, non-curvature / non-specialized environmental conditions model. In other words, he never uses the words flat earth, but I'm using that in place of this, because that's basically what he's saying. So here you have a flat earth with flat water, and the light's traveling in a straight line. And as Nathan likes to say, there's nothing going on here that is crazy, right? It's light from one end, and you see it on the other end, and that's just it. It's simple explanation. It makes sense. And then we go to model 2, which is the standard curvature WGS84 model. And then see on this model, to be able to see the light, he's saying, well, you'd have to do all these things to explain. And in fact, he's saying you wouldn't see the light in this model, because the light would hit the surface and refract up past the point of the camera, which is on this side. And then he does even go into a third model. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. And the third model, if I can't find it, is simply the second model with what he calls, or what I'm calling, extreme weather conditions. Oh, here we go. Specialized environmental conditions model. So in other words, he's taking into account mirages and, you know, inferior mirages and looming and refraction and everything possible that could cause you to see those lights in the ground from 13.6 miles away that he was. And then my favorite part, and I'm just going to skip to it right here, is the
15.
Hold on. One last part. And here's my favorite part. Synopsis. The incontrovertible observations and scientific evidence presented here prove that we do not live on the World Geodetic System WGS84 globe / ellipsoid model. That the non-curvature model is the only model that can account for the observations. 3, the sea between Worthing and Brighton seafront possesses no curvature, or such limited curvature that within the parameters of the experiment, the curvature model is indistinguishable from the non-curvature model. This guy is a PhD in, I'm going to mess this up, spectrogrammetry or whatever it is.
Before you
he
finish,
also had other.
sorry,
That's
Chris.
freaking amazing.
Just before we get
Yep.
sidetracked, can you just click on... Hold on, Arwin. Can you just click on his name so you can show his actual channel so people can navigate their way to him? There you go. Perfect.
What's so amazing about that video?
Well, he actually worked out the fine details in optics of everything that we've dealt with, everything.
That
He
wasn't
actually
the
built a
question.
freaking model for it. It's amazing.
He wasn't asking an honest question, Arwen.
Yeah,
Sure,
but I'm
Charles.
giving an honest answer, as I always do.
What were you expecting to see at 8 miles? How much curve?
It's 13 and a half
we don't
miles.
go looking for curvature.
It's 15 kilometers, correct? 8 miles?
Sorry, what are you doing, Alan? Are you about to force your model upon us and demand that we
No,
accept
just
how
asking-
much we should or
just asking you a
hadn't
question.
finished speaking?
You're
Hadn't
doing a
finished
fallback.
speaking.
It's
So are you
15
about
kilometers,
to
8 miles.
still hadn't finished speaking? So are you about to force your model on us and tell us that tells us what we should or shouldn't see? Is that what you're about
No,
to
I
do,
asked you
Alan?
a question. It's 15 kilometers, 8 miles.
Yeah, you then went on to say how much curvature do you expect to see? Those were your exact words.
Yes, I did.
So you are going to be telling us what we should or shouldn't be seeing based on your reification fallacy.
Not a reification fallacy at all.
Sorry, we
How
don't
much
live on a
would you
model.
expect to see?
Do you think we live on a model?
If it was a ball,
Sorry,
how much
do you,
would
if
expect to
it
see?
was a ball, so you're going to start to literally formulate this logical fallacy for us? If we live on a ball? No, that is the reification fallacy. We don't live on a ball, we don't live on a model.
Answer the question.
He's just trying to beg the question.
No, I'm not. I'm asking you
Can-
questions.
Yeah, you are.
So
How
you're
much
asking
curve
us
would you
how much
expect?
curve we
Literally
should see.
miles.
You're asking us how much curve we should see. So you're saying, let's automatically assume we're on a ball, and there is curvature between us and this. How much do you expect to see, given the curvature that is there based on my model? No, we don't live on a model.
This is the most mundane footage I've ever seen.
Well then, sod off. Go away.
Okay, so back to the question. I think the question was what I would think of this video. And some guys talked before me, so anyways. So I think it is an excellent presentation, very nicely done. Very it's a 2-hour video that must have taken an incredible amount of research and time and rendering to put together such a high quality video. So I think it's excellent that there are people who are very serious about this and produce this kind of high quality content.
And that are still driven by honesty within
Okay.
their profession. That's very remarkable.
Yes. Really interesting idea with the pipe, having it float on the water, so you have the least amount of space between the viewing angle and the surface of the water. That's really nicely done.
Does he have
So
the camera completely level then? So he's got spirit levels on that pipe to show that it's 100% at 90 degrees. Is that correct?
Well, it's yeah, he does have a spirit level on the pipe. And the pipe is floating on the water. Oh no, it's actually just only the end is on the water, but the other parts are on the shore.
Well, I think it's all in the water. It's not floating. It's in the water, but it's weighed down, so it can't move, which is why it's level. Which is why the spirit is level.
Yeah, really good idea. So the camera is just on the shore, but the pipe is going just above the water. So that's a very cool idea. Yeah, really compelling video. I think the main point was that with the current available round Earth models, either the curvature or the refraction would cause you not to be able to see the traffic light but you do see the traffic light. So that's something, of course, you have to consider. And I'm sure this guy will continue to, talk about this stuff and hopefully share more of his footage. I think it's excellent.
When you get a chance, are you gonna sit down and take a look at the whole thing, just paying a lot of attention?
I have a very sorry to break in, but I have a pretty pressing question for this guy that made this video, and that is, what is his opinion and insights on the effect of diffraction? He might actually know a big amount of it that we haven't even touched upon. So can't wait to hear his opinion on that. The obstruction due to limited viewing angle, known as diffraction effect in view.
Not refraction, but diffraction.
Yes, the optical slant effect, basically. What we see when looking past a flat surface, things start to obstruct.
I've looked a bit into it. Is it because of how do you call it, aperture? I don't think so, but that's another topic. What did I want to say again? I want to finish off. I'm not sure what I wanted to say anymore. Oh yeah, I will look into this video when I have more time. Not right now. Right now I don't have the time to watch a 2-hour video, even if the production quality is excellent. So yeah. That's it.
Right. Nathan, where are you? Didn't fall asleep, did you?
No, I'm paying attention. Cheeky
okay.
So thank you very much for bringing that to attention, Chris. I wasn't aware of that video. Or the guy's hard work that he's done since... When did you say he did it? November?
October.
What's the name of the guy that did this footage?
I have posted a link in the group chat. I will post it again. His name is Dr. John, I think.
Yeah.
You posted it in which chat?
I gotta go now. In the group chat, in the Hangout screen.
Yeah, I got him.
Thank you for coming, Apollo.
Thank you. Have a good night.
See you, Apollo.
Dr. John Quantum Eraser, Dr. John Levon, Dr. John Watson. Who? What?
Dr. John D. Period.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there a group chat that I don't see? I don't see it in the Hangout.
Yeah, mobiles. I'll put the link. Oh, Nathan, can you just put out the link in public?
Put it in the Hangout.
Or put it in the other Hangout, the Google Hangout
Skype.
Chat. Or Skype. Skype will work too.
It's in the public chat now.
Okay. So we better go now, because when this show... Oh no, yeah, this video is gonna be up with regular chat. Okay.
I put it in Skype also.
Thank you. So the guys were showing me yesterday view of Earth from space. It was many years ago, Dish Network, they had a channel dedicated to this stream 24/7, and it ran for months and months until the cameras gave up or something like that. So there's somebody recorded like many hours of it, and there's a YouTube video. I don't remember exactly the name of the satellite in quotes and the stream of the channel. I'm gonna look that up and then I'll let you guys know. It's supposedly uninterrupted footage of Earth from space for many hours and hours. Stationary satellite or whatever.
I've seen that. It's total crap.
Yeah, they say it's an SD quality because there was no not even 1080p. There was no HD quality, so that's what it was brought to my attention.
Yeah, you can, it's on YouTube or something. I've seen that before, and it's dog crap.
Yeah, out of the whole conversation, that was kind of the new thing that I haven't heard of it before, the name of the satellite or whatever this stream that was going. I never heard of it before, so yeah. Yeah, I'm planning on going in like maybe half an hour, so I'll be live streaming P900 live stream from my little spot that I go take observations, take a footage of some boats and the land in the other side. Hopefully, it's not a lot of mirroring and crap going on. It's a little cool. It's chilly. It's a little windy, so I think the conditions are perfect and the skies are blue.
Jose, what do you what
Please
app do you
capture
use
some
for
more
that?
bendy railroad tracks.
Yeah, right.
Jose, what app do you use for that?
The app is, hold on, let me look it up really quick. All right, it's called, the app has a MWU, three letters in the bottom, MWU, and it has the icon of the app is two cameras, one green, one blue, and it says Nikon. So the logo says Nikon and MWU.
All right, thanks.
So I start the live stream with DU recorder, live stream on YouTube, and then I press the button to share, to connect, to uh, to share the Wi-Fi from the Nikon. I activate my Wi-Fi in my Wi-Fi in my phone. The phone connect to the Nikon, and I can use the phone as a viewfinder of the Nikon P900. So me just looking at the viewfinder, then the live stream is going because it's going through the third-party app, the EU recorder. And the DU recorder has a little pop-out chat for YouTube. Pretty cool. So I'll probably be live in maybe an hour or so.
What's the channel name for that amazing footage? Where would people find that, Jose?
The name of the channel is Jose JG Gonzalez with a Z and a Z.
So yeah, check that out. Be up in an hour or so on Jose JG Gonzalez's channel with Zeds.
Thank you, thank you. So yeah, last time I went, I did a little live stream, just regular with my phone, and I was trying to look through the viewfinder of the P900, but it's not the same. I couldn't make it work as a live stream, live stream the P900, and now I gotta figure it out. So that's the plan to do it. Yeah, I caught me a little bit of the moon this morning before the sunrise. Just a tiny sliver in the bottom, like a little smile. So I don't know if we're gonna be visible tomorrow or not.
Anybody have any idea where Anthony is today? No, clearly not.
He was here. He just disappeared.
Spoke to him last night, but I don't know where he is now.
It's a very mellow show today. A lot of silence in between. I like it.
So Jose, I know I've seen it, but I can't find that video you're talking about from the telecommunications satellite, like way back in the 90s or whenever it was. I don't know why. I guess I'm not searching the right terms, but have you this is funny. Have you seen the Soyuz, and this is brand new from like a few days ago, Soyuz spacecraft launch time-lapse scene from space?
Hey, I saw the thumbnail, but I skipped it. I didn't watch it. I saw a thumbnail appear maybe, yeah, 2 days ago. I haven't watched the video.
Oh my, it's so fake.
Really, yeah, you can tell just by looking at it.
Yeah,
It's supposed
totally
to be
CGI.
a time lapse from space.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
let me screen share and show you. I don't know how good the video comes through and what the frame rate is, but I mean, just look at this first picture. Can you see this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're on.
Look how crappy. That's just like a painting. Here, watch this.
Top quality
Cut.
CGI.
Yeah, right.
Look at that. It's zooming in and everything on it.
What the hell is that supposed to be?
It's supposed to be the rocket that's going into space.
So
Right.
who's taking this
Okay.
footage? What is taking this footage?
It's a something in space, a satellite or something with a camera on it.
And of course, they've gone out for full, 720 resolution, top quality, nothing but the best.
Yeah. I mean, it's following it. It's zooming in on it. It's in the. I'm like, what kind of amazing camera on this satellite is it?
Aren't you impressed? Look at that dot. That's amazing.
Oh my God, no,
And
man.
it's gone. Oh, hold on. And then we have a guy in a
The microwave background radiation.
lab coat. Yeah. Doesn't I know that's what those geocentrist people use to prove geocentricity, or at least that we're the center of the universe.
Right.
The principal guys, Sun Genis, which actually is cool because I mean it doesn't prove the shape of the Earth, but it potentially proves we're the center, which is what, well, probably a lot of flat earthers believe already.
It presents an alternative on the eyes of the regular public. Yeah.
Well, that
Right.
wouldn't make any sense according to the heliocentric concept, because the center of all things, there should always be a giant black hole.
Load of old bollocks. Why would you take this as proof of?
So the Earth is in a black hole,
No,
and
but
it's
why
all
would you take it as?
blah,
Why would you take the microwave
warpy.
background radiation as proof of anything when we talk continually about how little the stars actually prove unless you normally have to assume something first. So
This show feels like a black hole.
that's excellent input, P.
That's you looking at your own arse in the mirror.
Mars, you've been here for a bit today, and I think I read you in chat earlier. You were gonna be shaking the Flat Earth debate show today. Do you have something to present or something
I think that was
compelling?
it. That was it.
No.
At least you're honest, P. You've got the humour value down.
Here's another. I don't know if you're still showing. Here's another.
Yeah, I'll stick you back up. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. I was just going on. Here's another some fun paintings that they're showing.
Beautiful.
Oh, here's a CGI of the sun. Oh, I love this how they're
Here,
showing how
Daniel.
the satellite maps the Earth.
Hey, Jose, how are you?
Pretty good. Yeah.
I
What?
guess it's
it
just
maps
mapping.
the Earth from the inside.
Well, no, this is. I guess that's mapping the space
I
background.
think Owen's right. It's proof of concave Earth right there.
Oh my God! It's hidden in plain sight.
Look at that, how
Oh,
bright.
look- I love those paint. That's such beautiful. I wish I could paint like that.
Is this supposed to be 4K quality?
I don't think so.
The images of him are. I mean, they've shot them with
16K.
super duper cameras.
Of this guy, yeah.
Look, guys, it must be real. He's got math in the background.
Oh, look at that. We're just flying through all that
Hey,
Whoa,
Daniel.
look at the perspective on those galaxies. Amazing.
Let's look at it again. Yeah, you're right.
Wow, look at the perspective effect. That's an entire galaxy you're just looking past. And
That's the-
this is gonna how it's gonna look.
Many,
for
many
sure.
galaxies. Look at
That's
it.
the intro to Doctor Who, isn't it?
I wonder what year they sent that camera out.
What's that, Nathan?
The intro to Doctor Who.
Oh, the intro to Doctor Who.
Now,
Okay,
Doctor Who
shit.
has a tunnel intro thingy. Remember?
That the Rumpus.
Maybe.
Right.
That's a pretty realistic picture right there.
Okay, I was trying to look for.
Oh, Vsauce.
Oh, here we go. This is what they show satellites doing. It only maps, a portion of the. Why can't they show that but really?
Rob Skiba used to install satellite dishes, so he believes in satellites.
That's another grand input that you've just given us there. Thank you, P. No one can comment as none of us are Rob Skiba.
Hold on, there's something.
He's my authority. I'm appealing to.
Excellent.
Oh, look at that. Look at this. Hold on, let me pause here. Look at that. Now, if that isn't a fisheye lens, and I've never seen before.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Scott Kelly, what a liar. What a
super real, man.
What a traitor to his own race.
What is the landmass? Gigantic landmass taking the whole half of the earth.
Yeah. So basically, they took a high altitude fisheye picture, created this Star Wars looking ship, and then put the picture under the ship, and that's people believe this.
But I seen the whole video, and it's like half an hour uncut, and you see the lady showing the bathroom and all that stuff. It must be real, right?
What else? What other fun
I
stuff?
still can't get over those sharp edges contrasting to the space.
Oh, look at that.
Hey, there's the numbers. Look at that number.
It's a tredecillion, and look at the shape. Oh, I knew it was an egg all along.
Tredecillion. I've never even.
It's not an egg. It's a happy egg.
Hey, hold on a minute.
Oh, look at
Nathan.
the beautiful core. Nathan, we found the core.
Nathan, we got it all in this video.
I found it.
Beautiful. I'm convinced.
All right, good night, everybody. Show's over.
Do they also
let's
show
pack it
how
up,
the
lads.
magnetics
Show's
works
over.
in this?
We found the Molten Iron core. It's on a Vsauce video.
That's
come
one
on,
for
let's
the encyclopedias.
There's gonna be more gems in here.
We should have asked Vsauce a long time ago. We probably
Here's
had
gravity.
all the
Here's
proofs
proof of
that we're looking
Here's
for.
proof of gravity. Down. It's down.
Ooh.
It's the aberration.
Oh, look at that.
Citations and everything.
The flatness of U.S. states. That's classic.
You got it,
hold
love it,
on.
man.
Another graphic to show how
Ooh, autographic view.
this is their model.
They live in a stickman world.
On Vsauce. Oh, here we go. What's this? Table. Oh, hold on. Let me play this. What's this? Oh, there it is. Oh, look. This is their definition of level. It's round, but because it's flat, quote unquote flat, that's level to them.
Hello, Flat Earth Data. Can you hear us?
Hello, hello.
It's level to the center.
Good to have you.
Thank you for having me. Lovely show. Fantastic as always. Hello, everybody.
Yellow.
Got a full panel suddenly. That's nice.
How's it going? Doing good. Had a lovely debate with read yesterday on his show. That was entertaining.
How did you get on?
Oh, was you the one that went after myself, or?
Yeah, that's right. You bailed. You had to go spend some time with the wifey.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, they were claiming their Sean there was claiming the satellite from the 80s or 90s there, talking about being over Florida for a period of time.
Yeah.
And that was 24-hour footage of, couldn't find any of that stuff. And when you go to the website, all it is just computer images.
Oh, okay. I just mentioned it maybe 10 minutes ago that was the only piece of information, new information that I haven't heard before, but I haven't researched it since they mentioned it.
Yeah, it was the Echo 11 satellite, right?
Yes.
EchoStar 11, right? So yeah, we went looking for it, and it's just, you know, here's the thing. Right into the argument I got into them. They're claiming curvature at 16 miles, right? Like, I don't understand how they can use Pontchartrain Bridge, claim curvature at 16 miles. That's what they're doing. They're claiming curvature at 16 miles, and they're expecting that to add up to a 24,000 mile ball. You know, 24,000 circumference ball. So I don't know how to get them to see the fallacy there, claiming curvature at 16 miles. You know, and using perspective as the excuse.
Yeah, they believe in a basketball-sized Earth.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I mean, I have video footage of Neil deGrasse Tyson claiming that there's no curvature even at 128,000 feet, right? And he was talking about the ISS being 2 millimeters above the if you were to look at a scaled modeled Earth, which was like a big, large beach ball, he was claiming it would be 2 millimeters above the Earth beach ball, and at that height, you wouldn't be able to see the curvature of the Earth. And that was at 128,000 feet. This guy was claiming, right?
Yeah, but that's a lie. But that's an outright lie. I mean, you should see curvature from the ground. If you have a completely level transit and you spin your camera and you've got, obviously, we're talking about being up on a hill and being able to see the horizon all around you, you should see curve. It should start to fall away. It should be measurable and noticeable. You know,
I agree with you there. The point of the claim is that you know, everybody's claiming curvature from an airplane, and everybody's claiming curvature at 16 miles standing on the ground. And the point is just to you know, here you got somebody in mainstream science completely destroying every single person who thinks the boat goes over a curve, and destroying every single thought that it curves at 16 miles when he's openly saying, you know, we know that there's no curve period. It doesn't matter if it's 128,000 feet or 140,000 feet. There's no 25,000 mile circumference measurement. It's eradicated at any high elevation shots. I mean, they're talking now, what, at 100 miles, there's a degree of tilt. You know what I mean? So it's like this consistent inconsistency. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad you've said that. It's doublespeak. Absolutely correct.
It's 100%. So it's just like going on the panel, and they can't get around three things, right? And obviously one of them is water curving over the center of mass. They can't show the physics of water changing. I mean, one of the ways that I understand large scale is that if you had water at large scale, there should be some sort of separation between small scale, like if I took a bathtub, or let's say a large swimming pool, and a large lake, they operate the same. In other words, I can go up to them and I can take a bucket into them and I can scoop a bucket out. The same, there's no extra strenuous activity regarding doing the same activity in a large scale versus small scale. So if I was to scoop the water out of a small scale pool versus scooping the water out of a large scale pool, well, there's no separation in gravity. So they're always claiming that, oh, it has to be larger amounts of earth to curve it. Well, then why is water acting exactly the same in scale? You know what I mean?
Funny that they can't tell you at what amount that is, right?
Well, exactly. It's like, well, what scale does it start to curve? At what scale, is there a math formula for it? Is there a weight formula for it? There must be some sort of, because you're telling us that at a certain scale it curves. Well, what scale is that? Well, that's the entire of the Earth. Well, if you're telling us the entire of the Earth is curving, there has to be physical, empirical, testable data for it, and there isn't.
Yeah, this is one of Travis's pet peeves. He calls it the great scale negator. Everything's either just that too much, it's just too small for you to get the scale of how big this thing we're describing is. Or the thing we're describing is so big, we just can't get it small enough to actually show you. So it's the great scale negator. No matter which way you play it, they'll say it's too big or too small or not the right scale to actually be seen. And coincidentally, the scale of Earth itself is the perfect scale to demonstrate it. In other words, I'll assert my religious belief as being the perfect scale every time.
Well, exactly, right? So it makes me laugh to where they're continuously asserting the 16-mile the Pontchartrain Bridge is their go-to safety net right now. And I think we just need to we've already ripped at a new one. We already have done that. But the logical fallacy is claiming curvature at 16 miles. And then if we were to elevate in the same spot, 50,000 feet, where does this 16-mile curvature disappear to? You know what I mean? So it's quite interesting how it's like a form of desperation, this Pontchartrain Bridge. What do you call it? The last Alamo? It's the last Alamo for them.
Yeah, last refuge.
Yeah, exactly, right? And I got booted off the show nonetheless, because once they brought up the bridge, I was just like, you guys are claiming curvature at 16 miles. Think about that. You're claiming Earth's curvature at 16 miles. You're supposed to think Earth's a huge spinning ball. If you're claiming curvature at 16 miles, at 32 miles, it should be double that, or exponentially, it curved even more.
Just to be pedantic, it's the last stand at the Alamo.
The last stand at the Alamo. Copy that. Well, that's what it is. It's the last stand at the Alamo for these guys, because once somebody actually goes there and does the proper, videography regarding it, whatever flat earther or whoever truth seeker, I even thought about going down there and doing it, because it's such a wanker session with these guys and that 16-mile bridge. It's just like, you guys are claiming curvature at 16 miles. Do you know that, right? You know you're claiming curvature at 16 miles, and it's a 24,000. You call it a 24,901 kilometer ball, or mile ball, whatever, and you're claiming curvature. So I don't know. I don't know how they can have the disconnect so massively in their brains where they can't compute the logic.
Bunch of retards, man. What's the deal with Pontchartrain? Like,
they're basically Pontchartrain showing a bridge going over water, and it's very curved, right? So it's their last stand of Alamo. Anytime you talk to Red and those guys, they'll bring out the Pontchartrain Bridge, because their arguments are getting less and less if you corral them into three categories. Now, one is obviously water. One is actually physical curving Earth, right? And I forgot about the third one here, but it's just amazing. You can see, like, the video that you're showing now. It's just amazing how. Yeah, I mean, it's comical. You got to remain humorous. I mean, I get so riled up with these guys, because you got about at any given time on Red's show, you got 300, 400, 500 listeners, and I'd say 80–90% of them are they're completely sycophantic towards Red. Yeah. It's like, you guys are claiming curvature at 16 miles. Like, do you realize that there's something wrong with that if you think the Earth's a ball? But they don't. They think that's evidence of it, and yet it can be easily displayed as perspective. Yeah, easily demonstrated as perspective.
On screen right now. So, Pontchartrain Bridge from the ground with some refraction and some of the diffraction limit and atmosphere looks like a bit of curvature. Yeah. However, the problem is that when you actually view it from the air, you can see that it's not curving at all. So to assert that him seeing this section of it curving around the circumference of the Earth is just utterly ridiculous when you can see that it's flat and straight.
So why do you think they just keep reiterating it? I mean, do they just expect their followers to be that stupid? That all you have to do is keep bringing up the same thing, and that's what it is. They just, you know what I mean?
Well, it's the main narrative, isn't it? So it's the same application as Miles Davis, just using the calculations, showing them as they are, and saying this is Earth curve, and we go, well, actually no, that is perspective, and when you incorporate it, it goes to hell. Well, they're just highlighting the flaws in their own methodology by just adhering to them. In other words, they're so brainwashed by the mainstream narrative that they parrot it without even realizing that it's ignoring perspective. And in the face of us highlighting it, they'll go, well, that's fine. You know, with Wiggles on the other day going, yeah, it's geometry calculator, and that's fine. And we're like, no, that's our point. You're excluding perspective.
Well, a question for you. They have supposedly Slice, Arcane, and I can't remember the other guy. They supposedly did a perspective test down a corridor of a hallway, because one of the arguments I brought up during the debate is you can verify perspective by looking down a hallway. Of course, you're going to have to overlook the fact that there's actually no atmosphere due to moisture and whatever over water. But for the nonetheless, you're going to see the basic principles of perspective down a corridor. And they're like, oh yeah, well, if the curve was curved left or curved right, it would be like this, it would look like that. Has anybody seen the reference for that, what they were trying to claim about testing perspective in a corridor? Anybody seen the results of that experiment?
Not an experiment, but no, I've seen loads of examples of that. What one specifically are you referring to?
Was it video or orthographic? I haven't seen any of their stuff, so I don't know how they're trying to demonstrate their perspective view down a corridor. I think they wanted. I think Sean indicated that it would curve a certain direction if it was a ball, and or I mean, I can't remember exactly how he said it. I just wanted to see if you saw those. Were they orthographic or were they actual demonstrations of a corridor designed to fit his argument?
I couldn't tell you. Sorry.
Yeah, so I got to look into that. What he was saying, you know, because you can, you know, obviously everybody on this panel, you've done the perspective test at some degree. At least you've visually seen it. The one guy online right now that did a really good job of it that anybody can go look at is Red Pill Philosophy. Was that the guy there that took the DSLR or the Sony or sorry, the P900? He lined it up on the table and then measured out the focal length distance and how objects move behind. Was it Red Pill Philosophy? Was that what it was?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so he did a good little demonstration that anybody can go and duplicate to show you that after a certain, I don't know if it's considered the Rayleigh's criteria, which I think Riley brought up, but I don't know how that works in small scale if you're not dealing with any atmospheric conditions. In small scale, you can imitate the horizon line, and after that horizon line, you can see objects as you go farther away from that imitated horizon line. It does fall behind it. So it is in the same principle. When you can demonstrate it, it works in the small scale as it does work at the large scale, right? So
well, the way you scale it down is to scale down the aperture. So the way to do it in small scale is just use something like an iPhone rather than a P900 with a massive aperture.
Well, yeah, focal, like a 20 millimeter versus what is it on the I think the P900 is what, anywhere from a 25 mil to a 2000 millimeter. Is that correct?
Well,
I think that's the
focal
length.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the focal length distance of a P900. So an iPhone, it will still have probably a focal length of 21 millimeter. It's probably pretty wide perspective. I don't know if aperture would cause that. I mean,
it's the diffraction limit. So if you've got a smaller aperture, you know, things. If you imagine looking at a picture on your iPhone, you've got a limited number of pixels.
We're actually talking about focal length, right? Or focal width, not aperture. Aperture is when you have light coming into your lens.
Yeah.
The size of your aperture is light, but your focal width is what you're referring to.
No, the diffraction limit is down to the aperture of the camera. So if you've got a larger aperture, you can let more light in, but that will increase the limit where the diffraction actually takes place. So if you use a camera phone with a small aperture, you can get the limit to be much sooner. And the way to visualize it is to say, well, how far can you see before something will reduce its size to 1 pixel in an iPhone? Well, not very is the honest answer. You know, if someone walks away from you, by the time they get to a mile away, they're 1 pixel in an iPhone. They're tiny. Well, when they go beyond that and disappear, that is the diffraction limit. You know, we always try and at the moment we're talking about it and referencing it specifically to the limited angle, so people immediately associate it with just the horizon, and that's not true. Zachary Sabala's in the chat right now, and he's saying similar things, which is it applies at any distance and to anything. You know, if something is too small to see, it will eventually reach the diffraction limit because of its angular size. But that is pure. That is down to the aperture. I mean, you've got the Rayleigh criterion on. I've stuck up your icon because you've got the Rayleigh criterion as your icon, which is pretty cool.
Well, yeah. So it's very entertaining with these guys and their complete utter denial. The fact that our eye is designed to do what it does, and the camera can simulate it. So it's you know, I urge anybody to go out there and start posting videos doing these simple perspective tests, because the more they get out there, the more people are doing it. You know, does anybody here claim that the Earth curves at 16 miles? Anybody on the panel? No? Anybody on the panel? Any globe heads on the panel today?
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
So just out of curiosity, you're a globe head, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that term is offensive.
So what do you call it? Heliocentrist? Do you want me to call you that? You want me to call you a Roman Catholic Jesuit follower? What do you want me to call you?
I think that's appropriate.
So heliocentrist is appropriate?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
As these guys argue about 16-mile curvature observations from Soundly, I'm going to say first and foremost a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible, and of course a massive thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing the show. If you hated it, then smash the dislike button, but then smash it again. But if you like the show, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. Over on Nathan Oakley, my second channel, there is the rerun of the previous debate to this one, along with the pre-show, so tune into that. I'll stick a link in the public chat box just as the show is ending. Also tune into the after show, which we will continue to record now once this live show ends. That will rebroadcast over again on Nathan Oakley channel at 0400 hours GMT or 4 AM UK time. Once again, I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
I mean, you're begging the question. Because I don't think the curve would necessarily disappear, right?
Fair enough, okay. But if you look at the picture, there's no curve on it. The curve literally disappears. There's a curve standing on the shore. We elevate 1,000 feet in the air, and the curve's gone. I mean, this is demonstrated over and over again, right? So if you deny it, then you know maybe we should show you some stuff that proves that that's the case, right? My question to you is, where in your brain do you think it goes?
I think it's still there. It's
still there. So it just you can't see it. So in that small 16-mile that small 16 area that you're looking at, you're saying that it's curved exponentially because it's actually obstructing you know, stuff in behind it, right? In the foreground, the bulge, so to speak, is obstructing the, you know, your vision from seeing the complete shoreline or buildings, right? That's what you believe, right? The curve. I
believe at some angles it may be hard to measure it with your eye, just by eyeball, but I think you can measure it with devices for sure.
Okay, so basically, just to sum it up, as you stand in a shoreline of, let's say, 16 miles, you're looking over at hotel buildings or whatever, and half of those hotel buildings are covered by what you would consider the curvature of the Earth, correct?
Yeah, because the water's flat, right? So
you would conclude, based on what you understand to be reality, which is when you're looking over at an ocean and the bottoms of the buildings are covered, you would consider that to be the curvature of the Earth. That you would consider that to be water curving over 16 miles, therefore obstructing the bottoms of the hotels, right? That's what you believe.
Yes.
Okay. Same spot, 1,000 feet in the air. You can see all of the buildings now. Everything looks flat. Where does that curve go? Not even that. Let's see about 100.
When you increase in altitude, the horizon increases in distance from the observer, which is another evidence that the Earth is a sphere.
Not the horizon, the curvature. So you were seeing curviness. You go up higher, now you're not seeing curviness. What gives? That's what he's asking, P.
Exactly. What gives in your brain to disconnect the two realities? One reality saying, as I'm standing on the ground, I see curvature, and in the same exact spot, I elevate a certain. Doesn't matter relatively on the feet, because you elevate even if you went 50 feet in the air, the curve would disappear. Okay. My point of the matter is why aren't you equating for that? What in your brain tells you not to equate for that? I'm just curious psychologically.
Don't believe the curve disappears.
Well, what happens to it when you elevate? Does it just go?
Still see it.
You can still. When you're saying that when you're standing at a shoreline and there's an Earth curve at 16 miles, I elevate up 500 feet in the air, 100 feet in the air. You are saying that you can still see that curve of water?
Yes.
So do you have actual physical evidence of this, or are you just
well, I mean, you're stating I can't see it. You're making the claim, so why don't you provide evidence?
I'm not saying you can't see it. I'm actually really interested and really curious psychologically for you.
Hold on.
Why?
Hold on.
Hold on.
Screen.
Why
Where is it? Where is it, P? We've got higher. There's Pontchartrain from the air. Where's the curve?
I believe it's still there.
What do you mean you believe it's still there? It's on screen without one.
Yeah, I don't think that's
care
straight.
about your belief.
I don't think the lines are straight. I think you can see it.
I don't care
right
about what
there.
you think or believe. There it is. No curve.
I think there's a curve.
I don't care what you think. There's it on screen without one.
I don't think this is conclusive evidence that there's.
Oh really? Oh well. So what I'm saying is, P, I should take what you believe and what you think. So I should take what you believe and what you think and ignore the visual evidence on screen because you don't think this is trustworthy evidence.
Though, Nathan, that's the problem.
So you believe the Pontchartrain video is
telling me it's flat.
So Pontchartrain with a load of distortion and messy picture and blur and mess. That's trustworthy. This crystal clear picture, that's not trustworthy. Okay, P. No worries. Just glad we got that clear.
That's a
blurry ass picture.
That's just a picture, so it's a reification fallacy, right?
No, it's not a model.
That's
it's a
not
photograph.
Reality, Nathan. That's
excuse me. No, Pete, that's your misunderstanding about reification. This is not a model. This is video footage. Hello, dickhead. This is video footage, not a model. Not a model.
Is it reality or is it a picture?
Hold on, let's face it. Your belief system came from a picture, bro. Your belief system of a curve at 16 miles came from a picture. So why are you not using a picture to refute your actual basis to begin with? Your knowledge and information was originated from a picture. So now you're denying another picture. Why is that? Why are you? Because it's called a biasy, right? You're picking something that stays with your belief system. I'm asking you, logically and in your brain, at 16 miles, you claim curvature. I elevate a few feet in the air and the curvature disappears. I'm asking your brain what happens.
He believes it's still there. That was his answer.
So your brain has convinced yourself that you've seen previous pictures of a curving Earth, curving ball, spinning, whatever. Those pictures are more valid and more true than the pictures we're showing you now. That's what you've decided, right?
Yeah.
So you've reiterated your own fallacies, you reiterated your own belief system, and you've debunked yourself today. Thank you.
I can definitely appreciate your logic. Unfortunately, you're trying to talk to P. Mars, who doesn't believe in logic and common sense. So
it's not that.
It was a good attempt.
I want to out these guys one by one. They can't answer themselves even from a psychological standpoint why their brain thinks the way they do. And the reality is they were shown something first, and then they were shown something after that. Now they've been showing the ball for what? How many years you've been alive, bro? And now for the last 4 years, 3 years, you've been shown a flat Earth. It's going to take a little bit, but your brain needs to tie the two together. Why am I standing on the shoreline and I see curve, but yet I go in the air and the curve goes away? What is it? Could it be my eyesight? Could it be how we see things? Well, maybe you should look into it. Anyway, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure on this board. I love listening to everybody here. You're all a bunch of smart, lovely fellas. I've got to go get myself a coffee, and I'll be back.
Thanks, Flat Earth Data. That was really great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Enjoy your day, fellas.
You too, brother.
Okay, I would like to talk about something.
Mike's all yours.
Okay, so for some time I have been hearing this stuff, and correct me if I am wrong, about the aperture of a lens determining how far you can resolve something, how far you can see. Is that correct?
The diffraction limit is based on the aperture, yeah. There's a calculation for it. Do you want me to dig it out and give it to you?
Okay. Well, I don't think it matters as much as you guys claim it does. And so right here I've got a variety. Wait, let me actually get a flashlight. Doesn't really do much. Or does it? So right here I've got a variety of lenses. So I've got a big, medium format lens and a small APS-C size lens. So you can see and of course the apertures are different sizes because the frame they have to cover is much larger. And I've got full frame lenses. So this is a medium format lens, and this is a full frame lens. And this is a medium format Canon camera. This is a D610. So what I want to do is I want to take different lenses which have about the same focal length, so you have the same magnification, but with different sized apertures. And I want to see just how much, if any, the resolving power of a picture will change if we say we compare this lens to this lens.
Excellent idea. I'd love to see the results.
Now, the problem is that I have a, how do you call it? I've got a converter like this, so I can attach this Mamiya 645 lens to my Nikon 610. So that's all well and good, and I have got a converter for my Fujifilm XA1, so I can attach this Canon, so I can attach my Canon full frame lenses to my APS-C camera, but I don't have a converter for the big Mamiya 6x7 medium format lenses. Now I've got about 5 of these, 20, maybe 15 of these, and another 10 of these. So I would like to, on several other lenses, so I would like to collect as much data as possible, but unfortunately I don't have a converter for this one. Now a converter for this lens is very expensive, about $150.
Wow, just for the converter, for the adapter plate.
Yeah, because the thing is, most lenses have a focusing how do you call it? A focusing ring inside the lens. But for these lenses, the focusing mechanism is a bellow inside the camera. So you physically move the lens about this much to focus it. So if we want to attach this lens to this camera, we don't just need a mechanical couple, but we also need to integrate a custom focusing mechanism to the adapter, which makes it much more expensive than just...
I've got you. So it's not just a plate, it's a physical mechanism that moves the lens in and out.
Yeah, so these are like, I don't know, $20, $30. Sure. But this one is much more expensive because it has a precise mechanical, stuff in it.
Do you have a camera that goes with that lens, with the bellows on it already?
Oh, yeah, I do. I could get it up if you want. It's pretty massive. I would just have to remove all of this.
I was going to say, this isn't science at the end of the day. If you did just take a picture with your camera that fits that lens and got a comparison with that might be good enough.
Yeah, but because the film size is different compared to the sensor size of this one, you would need to take that into account. And of course, yeah, film is expensive.
But if you can do it, if you can compare apertures and actually see what the effects are on the same camera, that would be awesome. Obviously, $150 for a plate, even if it has got a mechanism attached. It's like, wow, that's more coin than I could afford.
I could try it, but you would need to take into account that the medium format photo has much more resolution and has a much larger sensor. Analog in this case, film. But we can try it, I guess.
Worth a try as you've got what you've got. Run what you've brung and all that.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, ace. I'd love to actually see the effects because as far as I'm concerned, it's just been put out as a mathematical formula that's been presented to me. Like anything, the proof is in the pudding, not in the mathematics. With that, I'll probably round out the after show part of this show as well by saying, first and foremost, another huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible, and of course a massive thank you to all of you, the live audience, well, not live audience, the premier audience over on the Nathan Oakley channel, for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate after show. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. Smash the dislike button, but then smash it again. But if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!